So it's not the start Team Canada wanted to have. It's not the start they needed to have, but a tough, tough loss for Canada as they fall to France to open up their Olympic place 75-54. Canada falls in this one, and a tough, tough loss for Team Canada. And really, it's simple what happened in this game. The second quarter is where this game got away from Canada. They led after the first quarter 18-15. And then second quarter, France outscored Canada 23-2. Yes, 23-2. Canada's basket was a Bridget Carleton layup with like a minute 30 left to go in the second quarter. Other than that, it was just France. I want to say it was a 19-0 run France had to start that second quarter. And it really was, once you watched what was going on for Canada, Canada really struggled to get into their offense. They struggled to get the ball over half court. And you could see what the game plan was from France. They had multiple guards with the instructions of coming into the game, picking up the Canadian point guards full court, and whether it was Shea Colley, whether it was Naira Fields, whether it was even Kia Nurse and Bridget Carleton, they all had problems in that second quarter and really throughout the entire game, just dealing with the pressure of France's defense. And, this is a basketball thing that translates to any level of basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball, doesn't matter. But the full court pressure, it's one of the things that if you've been paying attention when we talk about the men's team, that's their game plan going forward, right? Where they have their guards pressure defense the whole way up the floor, because what that does is it grinds down the other team's point guards. And you saw that when you're tired, you're more likely to turn the ball over. When you struggle to get the ball over half court, now you have less time on the shot clock to get into your offense. And now your offense is out of sync. Also, what happens is you're more likely to pick up your dribble further away from the basket. But now you're almost trapping yourself because you're closer to that mid-court line, which is obviously an over and back. But from a Canadian standpoint, it really had them struggle to get into the offense and make the passes. And you saw them, whether it was turnovers, just live ball off the dribble, the ball getting stolen. You saw a lot of plays where Canada was trying to pass it cross court, and the French guards were able to get in the passing lanes and make those steals, but Canada just wasn't able to get their offense going. And, watching how the both offenses played in this game, on the one end, Canada would have the ball and there's a guard in their face, meaning you're struggling to make an entry pass. Entry passes were made difficult for Canada. Really how they want to play. They want to be able to move the ball, get paint touches with Kayla Alexander, and work there. But France did such a good job of pressuring Canada's guards. They couldn't see. They couldn't make easy passes. And that led to multiple turnovers, but also led to a lack of post play, which is a strength of Team Canada. The duo of Natalie Achonwa and Kayla Alexander, who are normally, such a big focal point of Canada's offense and their success, they struggle in this game. A combined 3 for 11 in this game between Achonwa and Kayla Alexander. And you look at that, you really needed to get some touches from Kayla, and it just wasn't able to go. I think, once she got the ball at certain points, you saw her make a couple moves here and there, but overall, she wasn't able to get into any type of rhythm. And then once the wheels started to fall off in that second quarter, Canada began to rush some shots. They started to get some open looks, but couldn't get 3-point shots to go down. Canada shot just 5 of 18 from 3, which is not their game at all. Like normally, they're a much better 3-point shooting team. Between Bridget Carleton and Kia Nurse, 2 players that if Canada is supposed to have success in this tournament, those 2 need to be at the forefront of what Canada is doing. Kia Nurse 1 for 4 from 3, Bridget Carleton 2 for 6 from 3, 3 for 10 overall. That's not going to cut it from those 2. And, they got it going better in the third quarter. I thought Canada showed some flashes. They're able to cut the lead to 3. at certain points, or it's not 13, pardon me. Oof, big difference there, right? Boy, would they have taken a 3-point deficit, but able to cut the lead to 13 at certain points, but they couldn't get over the hump as France just kept, coming over and over again, getting different players to play defense. And, Canada, their coach was trying to find different rotations. I thought he did a really good job in the third quarter of making the adjustment of trying to run the offense through Natalie Achonwa in the high post to kind of ease some of the pressure off the guards. Also, you saw some plays where, you had one of the post players come up and set a screen trying to free up the Canadian guards. And I think you needed a lot more of that, because Canada, once you saw, the pick and roll that kind of look, more traditional, big, coming up to the top of the key to try to set a screen for the guards, you saw the Canadian guards able to use those screens and kind of get downhill and get closer to the basket, more so than running the motion offense at the top of the key where you're passing it across. There's a lot of east-west movement from Canada, and France ate that up. And once you try to go south, go downhill to the cup, that's some of the slight offense and positivity you saw from Canada. Silver lining, some bright spots. I think in that third quarter, you saw Bridget Carleton, she had 8 rebounds in this game, 2 steals, 2 blocks. And yeah, I mentioned 3-point shooting wasn't there, but to me, anytime I look at a basketball box score and you see someone filling up blocks, assists, rebounds, that is a person who is engaged in the game. And even if your shot's not falling, there's other ways to contribute. And I think Bridget Carleton did that. Credit to Kayla Alexander, couldn't get her offense going, but 10 rebounds, double-digit rebounds, you take that, right? And again, if you're Team Canada, you're trying to find positives. I thought, you tried to get Sammy Hill involved. I thought she did a good job when she checked into the game. She just got north-south. She went downhill. She was able to handle the pressure a lot more than Fields and I thought Colley did. And that's not to knock Fields or Colley, because I thought, they had some moments here and there, but the pressure, different players have different strengths and weaknesses. And, the ability to handle the defensive pressure on the perimeter, it just seemed like Sammy Hill did a much better job of doing that, of keeping her head up with the dribble and seeing the offense better, turning the corner consistently, getting downhill. She got to the free throw line in limited minutes 4 times and hit all 4 of her free throws. So there's little things there, right? Like being able to play Silas Swords and get her some major minutes in this game. We didn't see a lot of Cass Prosper, but, I think there is a play here where whether it's Swords, Prosper, Aaliyah Edwards, those will be the faces that will lead this program going forward. And the question for the coach is, how do you integrate that with your current faces of your team, the Natalie Achonwas, Bridget Carleton, Kia Nurse, right? Because the bottom line is Kia Nurse has to be better for Team Canada if they're going to medal. Natalie, who was 1 for 5 in this game, she has to be better. And they will, right? The reminder that, yes, you lose the first game 75-54, not a good look for Team Canada at all. But your tournament is far from over. You have Australia next. Australia is a very good team, but at the end of the day, the reality is for Team Canada is you need to win your next 2 games to move on, right? That's the goal. And point differential is going to matter, because if you lose by 21, you got to chip away and hopefully you can get some double-digit victories to eat back into your point differential now, because you're at a huge deficit. But overall, I think there were still, glimpses here if you're Team Canada to where you can take some positivity going forward. You can bounce back and regroup and know that one game doesn't equate to what's going to happen in the next game. So you flush this one if you're the Canadian women's team and you bounce back. This is where you'll draw on the experience of players who've been here before with Kia and Natalie and not Aaliyah Edwards, sorry, but Bridget Carleton. You're going to look to your leaders to really get you to flush this and move on to the next game. But my biggest question going forward is, how do you mix in some of the youth to get their quickness involved in the game? Get that, agility into the game more, because France really sped up Canada and Canada wasn't ready to play at that pace. And that was a difference in this game. Again, though, Canada falls 76-54. Kia Nurse with 11 points, 4 of 9 from the floor, tied with Shea Colley for the lead. But that wasn't really, that doesn't really give you a good glimpse into what happened in this game. Shea Colley, Kia Nurse, Bridget Carleton, they all struggled in that second quarter, as again, a 23-2 second quarter is a difference in this game. Canada won the first quarter 18-15. They won this third quarter 16-15. And in the fourth, it was 22-18 for France. So again, Canada competed in 3 of the 4 quarters, but got blown out in that second. And that's the difference in the ball game. Overall, you look to a bounce back for Team Canada, and you hope that you're able to get a win and continue your tournament. So for now, that's all we got at this point, and appreciate people who tune in to watch our live hangouts, which you can watch. Just make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page at Sheldon Alexander. We'll be doing live watch-alongs, live hangouts, where we watch the games together, which was a help today because we had people jumping into the chat to find out, because they cut out of the game in the second quarter to go to the judo gold medal game. And people were scrambling, as I was, trying to find out where to find the rest of the game. And, you went to CBC Gem. It wasn't on the proper feed. You had to find it in a different language on a different feed, and chaos ensued. But that's where it helps, having these live watch-alongs where we're able to at least search for it as a community, as a team, because we're here to cheer on Canada basketball throughout the entire tournament. So make sure you follow along the Canada Hoops Daily on YouTube under Sheldon Alexander. That's so you can be a part of the live watch-outs, live hangouts, and also the Canada Hoops Daily podcast, which you can find on Apple and on Spotify. Just search Canada Hoops Daily. We're here covering it all. My name is Sheldon Alexander. You can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Shell Alexander, on Instagram at Sheldon Alexander, and of course the socials for Canada Hoops Daily, which you can find on Canada Hoops Daily on Instagram, under Canada Hoops Daily, on Twitter at Can Hoops Daily. Really appreciate y'all. If you happen to see these videos anywhere, how you support the movement that is Canada Hoops Daily, just bless us with the video with a like, and tell your friends. Come hang out with us and watch these games. We'll be up early Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m. to watch Canada and Australia. And then, of course, we will be watching the Canadian women's next game as well. Make sure you join us. It's a whole lot of fun. Really appreciate y'all. And as I always say, I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this. This is Canada Hoops Daily podcast, coming to you live following Canada's men's and women's games. Also, make sure you tune in to the live hangouts where we will be watching all of the games together on the live stream. Really appreciate y'all. Hope to see you next time. Or I guess I should say, as I fumble my way through the closing here, I'm trying to do the live hangout and the pod at the same time. We always say, until next time, we are live and we are unpolished and unapologetic. Until next time, see ya.